Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalabha Girivadadhari Gopi Janabalabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalabha Girivadadhari Gopi Janabalabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalabha Girivadadhari Gopi Janabalabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gaur Premanandi Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajikacharya Ashatara Sutta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Samstapakacharya BBT Samstapakacharya His Ever-Loving Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Feel a little embarrassed in front of Brajananda, who's the Ram Katha devotee. I'm asked to speak something about Ram Katha because we're leading up to Ram Navami. So he should give me some blessings. Maybe he didn't hear me anyway. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10, text number 2. Tasya, again, Tasya, Api, Bhagavan, Eshaha, Sakshat, Brahmamaya Harihi Angsha Angshina Chaturdha Agat Putratvam Prartitaha Sudahai Rama Lakshmana Bharata Shatrugnaha Iti Sangyaya Tasyapi Bhagavanesha Sakshad Brahmanayo Maharihi Angshang Shena Chaturdaghat Putratvam Prartitak Sudahai Rama Lakshana Bharata Shatrugna iti sangyaya Tasyapi Bhagavanesha Sakshat Brahmanmayo Harihi Angshang Shena Chaturdhagat Putratvam Prartitak Sudahai Rama Lakshana Bharata Chatrugna iti samyaya Ladies, oh. Ladies. Tasya of him, Maharaj Dasharat. Api also, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eshaha, all of them. Sakshat, directly. Brahmamayaha, the Supreme Parabrahman, the Absolute Truth. Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Angsha, Angshena, by an expansion of a plenary portion. Chatuda, by fourfold expansions. Agad, accepted. Putratvam, sonhood. Prartitaha, being prayed for. Sudahai, by the demigods. Rama, Lord Ramachandra. Lakshmana, Lord Lakshmana. Bharata, Lord Bharat. Chatrugnaha, and Lord Chatrugna. Iti, thus. Samyaya, by different names. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Being prayed for by the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth Himself, directly appeared with His expansion and expansions of the expansion. Their holy names were Rama, Lakshmana, Bharat, and Chatrugna. Those celebrated incarnations thus appeared in four forms as the sons of Maharaj Dasharat. Purport by His Divine Grace. Lord Ramachandra and his brothers Lakshman, Bharat, and Chatrugna are all Vishnu Tattva, not Jiva Tattva. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands into many, many forms. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. Although they are one and the same, Vishnu Tattva has many forms and incarnations. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 539, Ramadi Murti Shukala Niyamena Tishtan. The Lord is situated in many forms such as Rama, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. And these forms may exist in any part of his creation. All these forms exist permanently, eternally, as individual personalities of Godhead. And they resemble many candles, all equally powerful. Lord Ramachandra, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna, who being Vishnu Tattva, are all equally powerful, became the sons of Maharaj Dasharat in response to the prayers by the demigods. Om Jnana Timidandasya Gyananjana Shilakaya Chakshurun Militam Jina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadhati Sapadantikam Mukam Karurivachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shigurun Dinataranam Namashreshta Manu Api Sachi Putram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasyagrajim Urupudim Matudim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Kirivadamoho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Patita Kripiyo Shigurun Tannatosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hantai Madalabala Haridasya Varyo Yad Rama Krishna Charanas Padasha Pramodaha Manam Tunoti Sahago Ganayostayor Yat Paniya Suya Vasakandana Kandamulahai Matsamo Nasti Papatma Naparadi Nakaschana Pari Hare Pilajjame Kimbruve Purushottama Yuvadinam Tata Yuni Yunam Chayavatawyata Mano Bidabhati Tadvam Mano Me Ramatam Twayi Bhumau Skalita Padanam Bhumyadeva Balambanam Twayi Jatapadanam Twameva Sharanam Prabho Govinda Balabe Radhe Prartye Tvamaham Sada Tudiyam Iti Janatu Govindo Mam Tvaya Saha Radhe Vrindavanadishe Karunamrita Vahini Kripaya Tavapadabja Dasyam Mayam Pradiyatam. Hare Krishna. Got 35 minutes to discuss something that should take at least 3 hours. So you have to be patient with me. Brajananana, you please give me some special mercy. He's not Brajanana? Where is he? Who's doing the Ram Katha? Therefore I'm praying to Brajananana. He's here or not, he should give me some mercy. He's expert. So, this unlimited subject, I want to take one point, just one point. That is, the Lord appears in response to the prayers of His devotees. Now, if I understand right, we're at the beginning of the Ram Katha leading up to Ram Navami. Is that correct? Yesterday was the first day? Anyway, we're close to the beginning. So I want to discuss the prologue of the Ramayana. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago I was here. Is it difficult to hear? You can't hear. Difficult to hear? What does that mean? Should I speak louder? Should I speak right into the microphone like this so no one can hear? Should I speak back here so no one can hear? What should I do? Somebody direct me. I'm submissive. Tell me what to do. What? Acha. My accent? From my side, no problem. Okay, the problem's on your side. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, it may appear to you, last time I was in here in Ram Navami, this was 2 or 3 years ago, I discussed the same subject, but hopefully I'll be able to give more detail today in a half an hour. How is that possible? To understand just how great and how powerful Lord Ramachandra is, I want to tell you about just how powerful the person was who he came to deal with. Ravana. Ravana, because in Ishopanishad it says you have to understand, the truth and the falsity together to understand the full absolute truth. So now we're going to understand the falsity a little. Ravana was not an ordinary demon, He was, along with his brother Kumbhakarna, were incarnations of Jaya and Vijay, Vaikuntha Valas, Vaikuntha, Yeah. They were extremely powerful. More than extremely powerful, they were supernaturally powerful. And like Hiranyakashipu, Ravana performed some very severe austerities, and he received a benediction from Lord Brahma that he could not be killed by any created being except for a human or an animal. Or an animal. So, Ravana was a prototype, a typical demon. He had no regard for anyone. This is the nature of the demon. They are self-absorbed. They're selfish to the maximum. So the prologue to the Ramayana explains something about Ravana's activities and how they affected the devotees, and how the devotees responded by cursing him in different ways and making promises in different ways. The Lord is very faithful to his devotees. Sadavo Hridaya Mayam. Sadavam. You know that verse in the 9th canto of the Bhagavatam, where Lord Vishnu is explaining to Durvasa Muni, after Durvasa Muni offended Maharaj Ambarish, just how he feels about his devotees. The devotee is always in the heart of the Lord, and the Lord is always in the heart of the devotee. The Lord knows no one except for the devotee, and the devotee knows no one except for the Lord. Therefore, the Lord always responds to the needs of his devotees. After Ravan received this benediction, he began to travel around the universe, conquering, killing, maiming. In the prologue to the Ramayana, it describes Ravana returning from an excursion to the higher planets, where he had confronted and actually defeated. He didn't kill him, but he defeated him. He made his brother, Kuvera was the brother of Ravana. He made his Kuvera retreat in battle. And he took his chariot, or it was more than a chariot, it was more than an airplane. It was like a city, the most opulent city you can imagine, with palaces and gardens and lakes, and it was like a flying city of the demigods. Belonged to Kuvera. He's the treasurer. Why not? Why shouldn't he have such a airplane? Even the heads of state here in the world, even today, they have, Air Force One in America. If one man flies in a 747. Anyway, this was an extraordinary machine. This machine was so extraordinary that just by the mind, just by the thought, Ravana could control where it went, how fast it went. So he's coming back from this with his airplane called Pushpaka, and he's enjoying himself. And he's flying over the Himalayas, enjoying the scenery. And he looks down and he sees one very extremely beautiful maiden sitting in meditation. Now, one characteristic of demons is they are very lusty. They cannot control their lust. So Ravana looked down and he saw this extremely beautiful maiden, and he thought, this is very unusual. You don't see women alone in these parts, in the Himalayas. Out of curiosity, he told his Rakshasa associates who were flying around the airplane with him, helping him do his nefarious activities, had them stay there, and he went down alone. He came in front of this lady, disguised as a beautiful human being. And he said, "Oh, who are you? Who is your husband? Why are you out here alone? This does not befit a young, beautiful lady like you. And why are you meditating? This is for old ladies. Why are you wasting your youth? I am Ravana. I can satisfy you. You can come with me and live in the Lanka, the golden land that I stole from the gods. I can give you everything." So she opened her eyes and she looked at Ravana. It turns out that her name was Vedavati. And she appeared as an incarnation of the Vedas. And she decided, because she knew everything, she was an incarnation of the Vedas. Actually, she was a partial expansion of Lakshmi, which means she was a partial expansion of Sita. And she said, my name is Vedavati. I've been doing austerities here for many thousands of years because I have decided that only one person can become my husband, and that is Vishnu. When Ravana heard this, you know, this is another characteristic of a demon. All you have to do is mention the word God, and they become very upset. You know, when you go out preaching, there were only a few demons back in those days. Now there's a whole planet full of them. And when you go out preaching, as soon as you mention God or Krishna or anything, they become very upset. So Ravana became very upset. Who is this Vishnu? You know, and then he started deriding Vishnu. And Vedavati became very fiery upset. And she said, you better leave this place quickly before you get the wrath of the Supreme on your head. And he said, the wrath of Supreme on my head? Me? Ravana? Are you kidding? No one can defeat me. This person, Vishnu, is insignificant. And he stepped forward and he grabbed her hair. So this woman was not ordinary. She said a mantra and it caused him to stop. And then she, by her mystic power, she raised her hand and just severed the hair. And Ravana fell back, amazed. And then she said, you have defiled this body. Your touch is so sinful. I'm now going to leave this body. But I'm going to take birth soon from the earth. And that birth will cause your death. First curse. She's an incarnation of the Vedas. She's an expansion of Sita. And she's going to appear from the earth and cause the death of Ravana. But you know, another characteristic of a demon, they can't take good advice. We should measure ourselves. When one of our friends gives us good advice, are we able to take it? If we can't, then we should know we still have some of that demon left in us. And we have work to do. Mahasuchaha. Krishna says you can't become fearless until you actually surrender. Eke. It's to me only. So, after she pronounced this curse, she went inside, she meditated on her Lord Vishnu, and from inside created a fire, and within a couple of moments, she was in ashes in front of Ravana. Now you'd think that anybody with a brain who saw this would think twice about their position. Not Ravana. He just went, ha. He was baffled by what he saw, but he immediately rejected it and considered it to be insignificant, got up in his airplane, and continued on his way. Not even considering the curse. So he's going along, looking for more mischief to do, and he sees different sages in the Himalayas doing their sacrifices. He rains down on them unspeakable articles and substances, contaminates them, even kills them, and all of his Rakshasa demon friends go and devour the bodies, drink the blood. This is the business of the demon. Now they don't do it so grossly, but they're doing the same thing. by promoting illicit sex, by promoting meat eating, by promoting gambling and intoxication and all sinful activities. These are the roots of all sinful activities. In this way, promoting sinful activities, they are taking the lifeblood of the population. This is the business of demons. So, proceeds along his way, and suddenly his airplane stops. He can't think it any further. He can't understand. This is another trait of the demon. They can't understand the limit of their power. And therefore, inevitably, they do something that causes their own destruction, their own downfall. He immediately comes down to find out why he couldn't continue. And he sees this strange-looking being in front of him. He had a monkey's head, and he was very large, and his body was dark yellow and deformed. It looked dwarfish even though it was huge in stature. And he said, "Who are you?" And he says, "My name is Nandi, and I am the servant of Lord Shiva. And this is Mount Kailas. No created being is allowed into this area. You have to turn around now and go back." Ravana said, "Oh, Shiva. Who is this Shiva?" He said, why should I listen to a monkey?" And then he began to tease, taunt Nandi. Nandi said, "Look, you've just insulted the race of monkeys. So I promise you that very soon a very powerful race of monkeys will take birth on the earth, and they will be the cause of the destruction of you and your whole race." Second curse. Do you think he'd get the point yet? No. Still he couldn't get the point. He said, "You imbecile." And he took his 20 arms. Ravana had 20 arms, and they were very powerful. And he put his 20 arms into the hill, and he said, "I'll move this hill myself so I can pass. I don't need to submit to anything or anyone." Demon can't accept authority. And he actually started to tear Mount Kailash apart, and he lifted it up. And as he lifted it up, it trembled. And Lord Shiva, who's sitting at the top with Parvati, it tilts. And Parvati goes like this, whoop, and grabs a hold of Lord Shiva, afraid. Lord Shiva says, "Don't worry. This is just this impudent Ravana demon. I'll deal with him soon. He can't harm you, don't worry." And she said, "He has frightened a woman. Therefore, a woman will be the cause of his death." Third curse. Do you think he'd get the idea yet? No. So Lord Shiva, he put his toe down on the mountain and pushed down. And Ravana felt this huge weight crush his arms. And he's stuck with his arms underneath Mount Kailash. And he can't move. And he cries out in unbearable pain. Do you think the demons will learn their lesson even in such a situation? No. So his ministers, they come around him and they say, "Look, we've heard about Lord Shiva. He's invincible. You better satisfy him. We've also heard that he's easily satisfiable." So then he took the advice of his ministers, they're also demons, And he started offering prayers from the Samaveda, praising Lord Shiva. Don't think that the demons are not sometimes knowledgeable. The demons sometimes study the Vedas, and they become very knowledgeable in the laws of nature. But they use it for completely the wrong purpose. So he's saying these prayers to Lord Shiva. 100 years. He's stuck underneath the hill, saying these prayers to Shiva. Finally, and he's in pain this whole time. These are not ordinary qualities. This is why Lord Ramachandra himself had to come to deal with him. This is the point. So finally, Lord Shiva appeared to him and, all right, I'm satisfied. So please now, just, you're okay. You let him go. And he said, now you go your way, but don't do this kind of thing again. So what does Ravana do? He says, if you're really pleased with me, then give me your weapon. Another characteristic of a demon. They're never grateful. They always want something for themselves. They can't be grateful just to be grateful. So Shiva, he smiles and he says, this guy is really lost. He says, okay, I'll give you the... He knew that he would misuse it and it would be the cause of the death in him. So he said, okay, let's bring it on. We'll make the death come sooner. All right, you can have the weapon. And then he disappeared. As soon as he disappeared, Ravana felt the Pashupati weapon come into his mind. And what did this do? It made him even more defiant. It even made him more demoniac, as he thought, now I am truly invincible. So now he continues on his way, and as he was going down from the Himalayas, he comes to Ayodhya, where the king of the earth had his seat. At that time, the king was named Anaranya. In the dynasty of the sun. He was the king of Ayodhya and the emperor of the earth. Now Ravana was very disrespectful, dismissive of human beings, which would obviously be his downfall. But he wanted to be the undisputed ruler. He wanted to be the undisputed authority. Another quality of the demon. So he decides to go down and do battle with Anaranya. Surrounds the city, and there's a huge battle. I don't have time to describe the battle. It was a wonderful battle. And Anaranya knew celestial weapons. He was a Maharati. And he destroyed so many of the Rakshasas. But gradually, because the Rakshasas had abilities that human beings don't have, they can disappear at will, they can fly into the sky, they can do everything, and they're very powerful, they tower over human beings. And they finally overwhelmed the army of Anaranya and destroyed all of them, and only Anaranya was left. Such a valiant king. This is a real king, a real leader. Not like these so-called leaders today who are in the back, in an office, smoking cigarettes or doing whatever, and sending their men out to battle. He was right in the front. Real leader. But Ravana was very powerful, and finally he threw, being furious, at all of the weapons that Anaranya threw at him and wounded Ravana. And he finally took a very powerful mace and he hit Anaranya in the forehead and he fell to the ground. And as he was leaving his body, he cursed Ravana. He said, yeah, this is the fourth. He said, you have attacked this place and my ancestors and this rulership. I'm telling you that in this dynasty, a king will soon appear who will kill you. When he said this, drums appeared in the sky, flowers rained, confirming the curse. Cold evidence that it was true. Would Ravana listen? Would he accept it to be true? No. He thought, who is this human being? Nothing can harm me. Look what I did to him. Look what I've done to all the human beings. Whether they be big kings or saintly sages. Nobody can stand in front of Ravana. And he went on his way. He went back to the heavenly kingdom to cause some more mischief to the demigods, and he came before, and the demigods, they wouldn't fight him. You know, sometimes the demigods, who are very intelligent, when they see that an adversary is more powerful, they are advised by Vishnu himself not to go forward. Retreat, and then later, when the enemy is weaker, then you go forward. This is the politics of war. You don't always go forward. Sometimes you back off, and then you go forward when the time is right. So while this is going on, he spots Ramba, who was the heavenly damsel, who was the wife of the son of Ravana's brother. Ravana's brother is Kuvera. Kuvera's son is Nala Kuvera, and it was Nala Kuvera's wife that he saw. And he raped her in front of everyone. Nala Kuvera couldn't do anything. He was helpless. But he was able to curse. So he cursed Ravana again, that if you try to force a woman to your will, you will immediately die. Fifth curse. This was a very important curse because this curse stopped Ravana later on when he kidnapped Sita. He could not advance because Ravana thought when he heard about the curse soon afterwards, and he knew that sometimes these curses take effect, and especially when persons are that powerful. So he made up his mind then, I will never force a woman again. After all, there's so many women who will be with me, want to be with me. I don't have to force anybody. So then, as he was leaving the place, who shows up? Narada. Now you know Narada. He has this habit of showing up just in time to say something or do something to precipitate the appearance of the Lord. He's such a great devotee that he's always trying to make the Lord come sooner. So Ravana sees, Narada, and he invites Narada onto his airship. And Narada comes, he sits down peacefully. He says, I don't understand why you're causing so much difficulty to the humans. These people are insignificant. They're all under the spell of death, birth, death, old age, and disease. They're suffering anyway. You're wasting your time. You should go and challenge Yamaraj. Now, this is another characteristic of a demon. The demons love to create chaos. And how do they create chaos? They disturb the natural order of things. Ugra karma. You know how horrible the situation is on the earth now? You can't even go out and breathe the air without losing years off your life. It's so contaminated. You can't drink the water from the rivers. The Jamuna is no longer even practically has any water in it. It's all chemicals and sewage. So Ravana thought, this is a good point. Maybe he could give me a fight. Because he's so arrogant. Demons are so arrogant that they always think of themselves as more than they are. So he's thinking, maybe this person can actually give me a fight. No one else can. Vishnu, he's not going to fight me. He hides in the hearts of people. Can't even come in front of me. So stupid he doesn't realize he's in his own heart. He's given him the ability to forget, given him the ability to be a demon. You think he'd be grateful for a moment? No. So Ravana decides, yes, this is a good idea. And he starts towards Yamaraj's abode. And he comes into Yamaraj's abode and he sees millions upon hundreds and billions of conditioned souls being chastised by the Yamadutas in various ways. Now, do you think Ravana has some compassion for the suffering of others? No. But he goes and he interferes with the Yamadutas, stops them from punishing the souls to try to create chaos so that Yamaraj will become upset and confront him. Finally, Yamaraj gets the word. Yamaraj is not an ordinary demigod. He knows everything. He's almost on the same level as Vishnu. He knows everything. He says, this guy has come and he wants to create chaos in the universe. Ravana is thinking, if I can kill death personified, that will kill everyone. And then I will become supremely powerful. I will be God. So after some time, the Yamadutas fight Ravana. And Ravana is overcome. The Yamadutas are not ordinary. So what did Ravana do? He remembered the weapon that Shiva gave him. And he invoked that weapon, and fire and ghostly creatures and huge demoniac animals, fierce, powerful, they all came out and destroyed the Yamadutas. Then Yamaraj said, okay, enough is enough. So he shows up. Well, his chariot is pulled by more than 1,000 horses. And it is so strikingly wonderful that all the Yamadutas that were left, they went running away in terror. But Ravana, he was not afraid. He was not afraid. And he fought with Yamaraj. Finally, Yamaraj had had enough. And just as he was taking out his weapon that would kill Ravana, who shows up? Brahma. Lord Brahma shows up and he says, you can't kill him. It is not destiny. If you kill him, all living beings in the creation will be killed and you'll be responsible, and this is not good. He's meant to be killed by Ram. So then Yamaraj, who's a demigod, who is what? Submissive to the order of the Lord, puts down his weapon, sees that there's nothing else to do, and disappears. So what does Ravana think? I have defeated death himself. No one can kill me, no one can challenge me. And he became fixed in this mentality that caused him to try to enjoy the Lord's energy and be killed by Lord Ram. Lord Ramachandra ki jai. It doesn't pay. Crime doesn't pay. Dishonesty doesn't pay. Breaking the laws of nature doesn't pay. That's the prologue to the Ramayana. And we'll stop there. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Thank you very much. Questions, comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, this was very wonderful, the way you spoke. I heard it for the first time. I wish we had more time to hear. I have 3 questions. You said that when Ravana was going, so he was dropping things, bad things, contaminated things for Brahmanas. So how should we understand when the Lord says that I protect the devotees, and so many such things happens with Brahmanas, and sometimes we hear that they are killed also by demons. And you said that Ravana will not be killed by anybody, so the Lord has to come, but Lord Shiva had the power to kill him also, as was mentioned. Yamaraj also had the power to kill him.
No created beings.
Mahabhagavatam.
No created being. Lord Shiva is not a created being.
Also, as you were mentioning that when these curses come, or bad thing comes, or the bad forecasts come, the demons do not accept. But the same personality, Ravana, who was Kansa, when he heard that he will be killed by the 8 sons, so he accepted it, and then he captured Devaki, and he accepted that this is going to happen. So how should we understand this?
It's the same answer for all of your questions. Sometimes the Lord plays like a cat plays with a mouse, with the demons. Sometimes it appears like the demons win, but they don't eventually win. And the devotees always become protected in the end. Even though it may appear temporarily like the devotees having problems, or just like the Pandavas, they had to go into exile. They had to lose the gambling match to Shakuni, who was a demon. This is all Krishna's desire, Krishna's will. Krishna is in this position. He has to fulfill everyone's desires. And he does. Even the desires of the demons. The laws of nature that he's created fulfill the desires of the demons also. It's like sometimes the demons become very strong by their own will, by their own desire. And we know that particularly Ravana, he came as a demon for 3 births rather than take a body of a devotee for 7 births, because he wanted to come back sooner. And Prabhupada comments in his purports that sometimes the Lord will arrange for a demon to come to give him a good fight, because no one can fight with Krishna. And he enjoys the fighting. He enjoys the sporting proclivity. Everything is there in Krishna. So this is the way to understand all those kinds of incidences and where it appears like the demon's winning. He doesn't eventually. Ever. Ever. And the devotees always become victorious in the end. So we shouldn't judge necessarily by the immediate provocation or the immediate effect of the material energy against us, because it's very powerful. It's more powerful than us. And unless we're completely surrendered to Krishna, we may have to struggle for a while before we actually come to that stage of complete surrender. There again, there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum of surrender, even among the devotees. And some will have to wait and learn a lesson until they finally become fully surrendered. Name bhakta pranashati.
Also, when you said Ravana was cursed and he was provoked, he did not accept it because he was a demon, as you were mentioning.
I couldn't hear.
Hare Krishna. You said
Speak
that
a little more slowly and clearly.
When Ravana was cursed and also was like given threatened, so he did not accept it because, as you said, demons do not accept it. But when Kamsa, during the time of Kamsa, as the same personality, there was a forecast that Devaki's 8th son will kill him. He accepted it. So how should we understand that
he accepted it because, well, he did and he didn't. He did and he didn't. He lost faith in the demigod's words, which is how he heard it from the demigods. But when Vasudeva gave his promise that he would give the child, Vasudeva was so honest, and he knew that. So it's not that he exactly didn't accept it, but he actually let it go on until the time came when he was supposed to be killed. And then again, Narada came and revealed to him that it could be anyone. And then he, again, was afraid. He accepted. Means he was afraid. And he acted accordingly. It's not that demons are stupid. Sometimes the demons are very intelligent. You can't do something extraordinary unless you're intelligent. Sukritina means good work, and dushkritina means bad work. But to do any work requires intelligence. So we shouldn't shortchange the demons either. We shouldn't be, careless. We should be very careful when you're dealing with a demon. I think I have to go now. It's late. Thank you very much for your, as usual, your wonderful ears and hearts. Hare Krishna. Shri Ramachandra ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.